In today's video, I want to talk about 3 different ways that you can make more money in the mortgage business. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Zevi Shafin. I'm an owner of a company called Loanbrook. We are a wholesale mortgage company in Los Angeles. We do both residential and commercial loans. And as a matter of fact, we're hiring new loan officers. So if you're interested, please check out the email in the description of this video. Feel free to send a copy of your resume. I'll be happy to take a look at it, all right? Right before we get started, if you could do me one little favor and just hit that like button so other people like yourself can find this very valuable information on the internet. And with that, let's go ahead and get started, all right? So 3 different ways to make more money in the mortgage business. How do you do it? I want to start from the top with number 1. And if you've ever ran a business in general, you know that number 1 is always discovery, right? So the more that you are discovered, the more likely you are to do more business. And then in our business, of course, more likely you are to fund more deals and more loans. Now, discovery falls into 2 categories. And the first category is an active category. I'm going to go through that with you in just a moment. And then the second, of course, is non-active. And what do I mean by active and non-active? Let's break it down for a second. We know for a fact that there are multiple ways to reach our target audience. And then in our case, the best target audience would be our referral partners. Secondary to the end user, which for us is the borrower, the person that actually does the transaction. So if I was gonna make an active approach, what I would be doing is I would be picking up the phone and reaching out to my referral partners. And in today's market, January of 2025, those would be the realtors, right? Now, I've done another video recently which kind of discussed reaching out to the real estate agents and doing all that. So I'm not gonna get into it in this particular video, but what I do wanna emphasize to you is that the active approach means you're picking up the phone and you're calling your target audience directly. Now, it could be you doing this, or it could actually be someone else doing this for you. Now, in the beginning, I would highly recommend that you do this yourself. There is no shortcut. You have to do a lot of the thing that you don't necessarily like to do before you can hand over the task successfully to somebody else and tell them, do it for me because I'm super busy. If you're not super busy and you're just getting started, there's no reason why you shouldn't be doing the reps. It's very much like going to the gym and expecting to see results after the first week. We know for a fact that we got to go for at least several months. Be super consistent, not only go, but be consistent with the exercise once we show up to be able to see the results. And it's kind of the same thing here. You know that you're coming in doing, let's just say, 50 reps every single time, meaning 50 contacts using your phone, hitting this particular group of people so you can see the results that you're looking for, exactly like going to the gym over a period, hopefully, of a few months, right? Once you got that great physique, once that phone's ringing and you're already doing deals, you're in deals, you don't have a lot of time, that's when we can do the handoff and give it to somebody else to do. That's our active approach. Now, as we shift gears into the non-active approach, this would be us doing 2 different things again. What are we doing? First thing we're doing is we're posting content, right? Now, mind you, I think posting content is amazing. I mean, look at what you're viewing right now. This is me on YouTube. I took the time to put this together for you guys, but at the time that you're watching this, this is not a live show, which means I've already produced this, it's been edited, and now you're watching this, it's evergreen, it's gonna be there forever, which means that I'm using leverage to reach my target audience, which is amazing. You can continue to multiply it yourself, kind of like different assets, digital assets that you put up on all the platforms. The beautiful part about it is it's completely free. The only part about it that costs you anything is your time, obviously. And I've talked a lot about this. It's amazing to think that you can post on so many different platforms, get so much leverage. Each platform, of course, acts slightly different. I love YouTube, and the reason I do is because it's a search engine. People go onto YouTube for a purpose. They have a pain point and a problem. They're trying to figure that out, and they type in, and then the solution pops up. Unlike Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, where people typically are just sitting there and scrolling, their attention span is also a lot shorter. They're not necessarily looking to solve a problem, but they do look at things that interest them most. And whatever it is that you're doing, if that's of interest to them, it's gonna continue to populate. So why not use that for your advantage, okay? So that would be number one, getting in front of our audience with non-active way, meaning we're not physically calling them, texting them, asking to talk to them like we do here. We're just posting and sharing information with them and kind of planting that seed. So over time, hopefully they reach out to us if they have a question or they actually want to transact. The other thing is exactly the same, but over email, right? We're using email to be able to basically reach our audience, right? Let them know what it is that we do. But the reason I'm saying it's not an active approach is because they keep getting our drip campaign, and then whenever they are ready, they reach out to us. But the good thing is, because we don't have time to speak with everyone every single day, this gives us the opportunity to stay in front of them, let them know what it is that we're doing, and then we hope that in time, again, they reach out to us whenever they need to. So the first phase, like we discussed, discovery, is us doing more of the thing to be either in front of their face actively or in front of their face in a passive way until they are in fact ready to pull the trigger on a transaction, right? And the beautiful part about it is the active approach can go to the referral partner to build a relationship, and then the passive approach could be something that's targeted to the actual audience that you're serving, kind of like your borrowers, and you can get, you know, a little bit of both. Now, when you ask me which one is better, I think they're best when you combine the two of them together, because this way you get a very comprehensive marketing strategy to be able to, again, get more transactions. That was the goal. So that's again the first bullet point on our list. And by the way, if you have any questions about any of this, feel free to drop me a comment below. Let me know what it is that you have a question about. I'll be happy to answer it for you. Number two is larger deals. Let's say that you are an individual who's gonna run through 10 deals because you're so good at doing the outreach, and every single deal is gonna be $200,000, right? Doing 10 deals is no joke. It is gonna take a whole lot of work. By the time you're done, your aggregate volume, your dollar volume of loans that you're working on is gonna be $2 million. So we ask ourselves a very simple question. Is it in fact possible, instead of working on 10 deals, which is wonderful, to be able to save ourselves a little bit more time and maybe work on one deal that's $2 million, or maybe two deals that are $1 million? Is that possible for us? How would we be able to put that together? Now, you've heard me talk a lot, if you've been watching my videos, about the part-time commercial lender academy that I put it together last year. It took me about a year to put it together. Like I said in the beginning of this video, we do both residential and commercial loans. I personally think that if I had to begin my journey in lending today, I would focus highly on commercial and private money loans. And the reason being is that there's a lot less red tape, it's a lot less restrictive, mortgage rates are not locked up for 30 years, and I can actually pull in loan officer partners who are in fact working on residential deals to write their licensed company into my term sheet, and then work on their commercial deals that they cannot do to be able to earn a commission together, even if I wasn't soliciting these deals for myself. So let's look at that for a second. No matter where you live in America, is it fair to say that when you go out to a commercial center, let's just say a mom and pop mechanic shop or a tire center, could be a retail center where there is, a strip shop of a ton of stores or restaurants, whether there is a building with 1 or 2 stories or 50 stories, none of that really matters, because those pieces of real estate need loans exactly the same way the residential homes need loans. So whether it's a purchase or a refinance, when you handle that business, let's just say that your commission here is 1%, right? Well, it could also be 1% right here. But the difference is that over here at the beginning of the transaction, I would be taking, once my term sheet is signed, meaning I gave terms and they're interested to move forward, I would be picking up a $1,500 to a $2,000 non-refundable processing fee, which means I'm putting some money in my pocket, bringing the borrower a little bit closer to me in terms of commitment. I'm more of a specialist, which means I raised the bar. There's more people that I can work with, kind of like a pyramid. The higher the bar goes up, the less people there are to work with, which means that they're a lot more likely to work with me instead of rate shop me all over time. That's why I love these type of deals. This is another way for us to be able to work on larger deals, whether you live in Los Angeles or you live in Pennsylvania, wherever you live in the country, because you could do a combo of both residential and commercial deals. And you're wondering, where can I find more information about this? Again, check out the link in the description of this video for the Part-Time Commercial Lender Academy, which is a plug-and-play roadmap that can walk you through the whole process of being able to help a borrower go through the transaction of a commercial deal and then ultimately fund and you earn a lucrative commission. Number 3 on our list, charge more per transaction. Who's going to pay me more money to do a mortgage loan? Wouldn't I lose that to another loan originator? You might, unless you have a different skill set than the other loan originator. And let me kind of dig into this a little bit. If you're offering the same thing that everyone else is offering, then it's very difficult for you to be able to charge more for the same service. And I would agree with that. However, if you have a certain skill set that somebody else does not have, maybe you have an offering that somebody else cannot get, and there's a particular transaction that falls on your lap that requires both your resources and your skill set, then you can absolutely 100% charge more per transaction to put that deal together. And now you might be asking yourself, well, can you give me an example of what that kind of a transaction is? Yes, of course. So let's just assume for a second that somebody reaches out to you for a construction loan, right? And not a lot of people can help them put this together. A private money construction loan, all right? Let's take it a step further. A mid-journey construction loan, all right? That requires a second deed of trust. Who can actually help me with that kind of a transaction? Do I do these? I do these all the time. And the reason you can charge more for them is because you're a bit of a specialist. It's a unique situation that you can help somebody with. Also, private money is designed for business purpose. What happens if there's a person who's owner occupied, right? And you got to give them private funds. So you got to be able to work through a transaction like that and let them know how they're going to be able to get qualified. A private money lender is not going to want to do this most of the time. Again, that makes you more of a specialist. There's a bundle of transactions like this. Again, where would you learn how to do this? The format is the same as the format that I go through in the Part-Time Commercial Lender Academy, that you could originate both the commercial deals and the private money deals. The only difference is the skill set, the associated skill set. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you is that this information did not necessarily fall on my lap. I learned it through experience. And when I was in fact exposed to this, I very quickly realized that there's a much larger opportunity in mortgage than just doing purchase and refinances for Fannie and Freddie Mac loans, which is a typical transaction that somebody can walk into a bank with their tax returns or their W-2s and be able to get a loan and get paid for it. All right. So we did cover a lot of ground in this particular video. All right. And these are the 3 best ways that you can get paid more money in the mortgage industry. I really hope that this was very helpful for you. Like I said earlier, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments for me. I'll be happy to answer them for you. Actually, as a matter of fact, I really enjoy reading your comments. So please let me know what's your takeaway from this video. In addition to it, like I said, a lot of this information falls into the Academy. So if you're interested, feel free to check it out. I do appreciate you guys being here and watching my videos. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button so other people like yourself can find this information on the internet. And lastly, I thank you for being here, and I hope to catch you again on my next video. Take care.